And we're live. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 5th episode of Australia Got Tech Talent Show. Thank you so much for finding some time to join us today. I'm hoping everyone having a great Thursday lunch if you're in Australia. If you're not in Australia, I don't know what time of the time of the day it is, but I hope you're enjoying it anyway. So I'm Jana Martins. I'm your Australia Got Tech Talent host, the event that gives perfect platform for tech startup founders to share their personal story, showcase their unique value proposition, and receive invaluable feedback from our judging panel. As a tech entrepreneur, you may struggle sometimes, to convey the true essence of your technical innovation in relatable, human way. So that's why we believe in the power of incorporating this like personal journey, engaging with the audience. So this event goes beyond your technical capabilities. It's focusing on the skills such as creativity, problem solving, storytelling, emotional intelligence, all these important skills in the technical world these days. So please make sure that you tag and share this video with your colleagues and friends who need to hear this. So please don't forget to introduce yourselves in the comments. Let us know what you do and join our show with your questions and comments. Just to remind you quickly, we're streaming live today on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and we're running this show monthly, last Thursday of the month at 12 p.m. Sydney time. So please stay tuned. And if you want to make sure you never miss the next show, I really encourage you to join our meetup group to receive the invites for the upcoming events. And we're planning probably run face-to-face event eventually, probably next year. So keep an eye. Please, if you have any questions to Shan, you can also put them in the comments during the presentation. We'll try to answer your questions if we have time. Otherwise, we can always take it offline as well. And keep in mind that we have a prize of the audience favorite at the end of the year. So please ensure that you stay till the end of the presentation and participate in the voting. Yes, it will be voting at the end. So before I'll pass it over to Shan, our today's speaker and contestant, so I would like to start by introducing our judging panel. So they will be evaluating the presentation based on innovation, creativity, engagement, and audience impact, as well as problem solving. So we have a lot of people joining us. I'll just quickly say hi. Andrew's here, Tinesh is here, James is here, Nisa's here. If I'm pronouncing names incorrectly, forgive me. Felipe, Mark's here, Tanya's here. So many people. Thank you guys for saying hi. It's making me feel good that you're watching, that you're here. So thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't said hi, I can see you're watching, so make sure to say hi. And before, it's probably enough of me. So let's let our judging panel to do the introductions. Maybe we'll start with Robert. Robert, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Morris. I am currently the co-CEO and founder of an Australian and Indonesian tech company called Cybe. We're building out a new innovation in digital identity, Web3, verifiable credential capability for national infrastructure technology, which is very exciting. I've been in tech for 30 years around the world. Been involved in a number of very successful startups in fashion and textiles, in internet advertising, search engine technology, and also cybersecurity and strong authentication. So I'm delighted to be here, and good luck, Shan.
Thank you, Rob. Next one is Edwin. Edwin, please.
Hey everybody, my name is Edwin Kwan. I'm the head of application security and advisory at Tyro Payments. So Tyro Payments is an Australian company, and we are a card payment provider. So you are the ones where if you got to pay at a shop, and we offer a tap and pay. Most recently, we've done the tap on your iPhone to pay. I've joined the company for a few years now, and I've kind of joined when the company was working to get its banking license. So I'm very excited to hear about what Shan has to share with us today.
Thank you, Edwin. And Ahil, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Akhil, the Investments Director for Antler Australia. I've got a sort of background in working across the tech and startup world, so very keen to see Shan talk to us today as well. A little bit about my role: I lead our overall investment process and a bit of growth efforts that we have in Melbourne as well. And for those of you who don't know, Antler is an early stage investor. We invest at typically the earliest stage that a lot of founders get from an institutional level. And founders often come to us if they're looking for a co-founder to stress test businesses and find an investment partner that can invest for the life cycle of the startup as well. So very excited to hear from Shan today, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you everyone for those introductions. So guys, before I'll pass it on to Shan for him to run his presentations, everyone who's watching us today, and we have a few more people saying hi, and Navjot here, Dan's here. Thank you guys for saying hi. So before Shan starts his presentation, just want to bring your attention back to the judging criteria, because obviously everyone who's listening, please be ready to vote at the end of his presentation as well. So, that's the judging criteria. I'll talk about it a bit more once Shan is finished. But, keep in mind that's the criteria that you need to look at while you're watching. Okay, so that's enough of me. So all eyes on Shan now and his presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Yana. Appreciate it. And thanks so much to the judges for being here. Some really awesome investors and security practitioners. So look forward to sharing a bit more about what we're building at Nullify. Obviously, I'm Shan. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at Nullify AI. Our vision is to give every software developer, embedded security intelligence. And our mission is to transform the way that software is built securely everywhere in the world. So obviously two awesome cyber practitioners on the judging panel today. I don't need to explain to them probably just how much of a importance security has been the last 5 to 10 years. So obviously with companies migrating to the cloud in the cloud native era, building things and shipping them really, really fast, the average cost of a data breach has gone up, and it's been consistently going up every single year. And if we actually examine some of the recent attacks, then recent data breaches over the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of them come from weak software supply chains. So now more than ever, companies that are building software really, really have to be careful about what security controls they're implementing into the development practices of their software engineers. We're a team of software engineers, so we discovered this problem both working in big tech as well as helping customers in consulting. So we started off observing these persistent problems between how software was being built and how it was being secured. So my co-founders, as well as software engineers, and the broader team, we're a group of cloud platform and security engineers who've been teaching things, building things, and securing things in the cloud for probably 3 or 4 years now. And as I kind of touched on a little bit at the start, the main persistent problems that we were consistently seeing whenever we would talk to companies building was that today, software engineers, developers are pushing code twice as fast, and security teams are really struggling to keep up with that pace of delivery. So in the past, you'd have a centralized model of security teams coming in at the end of release cycles and running these security tests. But today, a lot of these developers who are pushing code twice as fast say that these manual security processes are slowing down their time to market. And if you're a software company, you have a really, really hard decision to make between going to market really quickly and shipping software and making sure that it's secure. And whenever we talked to security leaders, so whether that's CTOs, CISOs, or heads of AppSec like Edwin, we found that they often observed security was an impediment to their time to market. So again, if you're a software company or even a payments company like we have here with Tyro Payments, oftentimes you have to pick between moving fast and moving securely. So these are really persistent challenges that we were observing in the wild in Australia and obviously globally as well. And if we kind of dive a bit deeper, we have In most companies, one security engineer for every 100 developers, sometimes for every 1,000. So it's very, very difficult to scale security testing when you have really, really large organizations that can't scale security through actual application security people. And the result of this is that 81% of developers knowingly release insecure applications. So this builders to security ratio disparity is something that what we found was remaining unsolved in a lot of enterprises, whether you were a startup, a scale up, or a mid to large enterprise with thousands of software engineers. This kind of imbalance between security and engineering was kind of cropping up everywhere we went. And when we started to figure out how we break down these silos and why it's still so hard to shift security earlier into the software development lifecycle, we found three main things that made security teams really, really hard for them to secure these software practices. The first one was complexity and scaling. So if you're a company which has 500 developers and very, very complex developer environments, it's hard to implement security tooling. So maybe you need security tools that scan your code for vulnerabilities. Maybe you need security tools that scan your code for hard-coded sensitive credentials or secrets. But overall, there's a very high operational overhead to integrating security practices into software engineering processes. So it's very, very difficult to scale. Secondly, there's missing context. So if I'm a software engineer, my main job is to develop features and deploy them to production, right? I'm building software and I'm shipping it. Nowhere in my, I suppose, project management workflow, when I'm assigned a ticket, is any ideas about what security vulnerabilities I have to fix, which ones actually need fixing, and who is fixing that. So my role as a software engineer doesn't encompass security engineering. And because of that, these security testing practices aren't unnecessarily introducing added security work. So these three challenges and complexity of scaling, missing context, and added security work results in a lot of software engineers putting security on the back burner and companies having to either ship slower but more often than not, ship insecurely. And obviously in the last 6 to 12 months, we've had some really, really high profile data breaches here in Australia. Obviously, a health insurer, a telco, and a financial services company. And in every single one of them, at least one of the weak links in the data breach was insecure software supply chains. So I've talked a little bit about the problem. You have lots of software engineers doing lots of things really, really quickly. And you have these security teams that are almost trying to push back and hold back the ocean in terms of security vulnerabilities. So in order to solve this, we built Nullify. Nullify is a virtual security engineer for your entire code base. We figured that companies find it very, very hard to scale their security programs with people because security engineers cost a lot of money, as Edwin, I'm sure, knows. So rather than hiring a security engineer and embedding them into every single developer team, which would cost a lot of money if you have thousands of developers, Nullify is a virtual security engineer embedded into every developer team. It gives developers that human intelligence aspect of a virtual security assistant that they can interact with as if it was a real person on their team, running security tools, submitting code changes, and answering their questions about security vulnerabilities. Whether they're writing JavaScript or Terraform, pulling in packages from NPM, or building Docker containers, Nullify is within their developer workflow from commit all the way to production at every step of the way, giving them context and not just visibility, but actionability into the security of their product. This gives them continuous security testing feedback and allows them to build more secure software without slowing down their pace of delivery and without creating needless security work for either them or their security teams. By doing this, we can scale the distribution of security ownership, and we can give security teams a product that allows them to reduce their developers' dependency on them to fix security vulnerabilities. In just 2 months of raising funds at the end of last year, we closed our pre-seed round at 1.1 million Australian dollars. led by OIF Ventures, Black Nova Venture Capital, and a cyber accelerator called Cyrise. We have over 600 developers globally using Nullify today, from startups and scale-ups like Mast, mid-sized all the way to enterprises, which are large and regulated with hundreds of developers like NIB Health Funds. In September, we're raising our seed round, and we're going to market in the US. And we're very, very proud to show that we can build world-class cybersecurity and AI startups from right here in Australia. So thanks so much for listening, and look forward to hearing your feedback and questions.
Thank you, Shan. That was nice and sharp.
Yeah.
You know, we had a strict time limit of 15 minutes. So, guys, obviously it's time to vote. I'll give the judges some time to, you know, put the scores. While the judge is doing this, basically, everyone who's on the call can vote as well. So I'll just talk you through our judging categories. So basically, the scoring system is 1 to 5. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. And we're evaluating presentation by 3 categories. Firstly, innovation and creativity. You know, is this idea innovative, unique? Did the speaker provide new insights or perspective on familiar topic, or introduce some new unexpected ideas or concept? The second one is engaging with an audience impact. Like, was the presentation engaging? Did you feel like you want to keep listening? Did the speaker use some storytelling to explain complex concepts, or like metaphoric examples, or some visuals? And problem-solving criteria is, did the speaker clearly define the problem? And was the problem solved, or maybe was some some understanding of solutions and or learnings from that? So that's basically the criteria. Please put your scoring in the comments. So basically, you know, 3 numbers from 1 to 5. And while you're doing that, I'll make sure we get some scores from the judges. So Dinesh is saying, well done. Where are we? 5, 5, 5. Here we go. The audience voting. Come on, guys, make sure to vote. As I said, that we have a prize for the audience favorite as well. So if you're not voting, obviously, Shan, you're not getting the audience favorite prize. So make sure to participate. Okay, so I think there's some scoring coming through. Stay with me. Okay, so some people's ready. Tina's 5, 5, 5. Okay, audience, here we go. Edwin, I think you're ready. Please talk to us about your scores and what you like and what you didn't like.
Yes, thanks, Shan. I love the presentation. It was fantastic. What I like is you started out with the vision and mission statement. I really like that. You started out talking about the problem space, why we're doing this. This is what it is. You talk about, you know, things like 1 security person to 100 devs, 85% of devs knowingly release insecure apps. Wow. You talk about the problems itself, you know, what you're trying to solve, complexity and scaling, missing contacts, added security work in there. And then you talk about what you do in terms of how you want to address that. So distributed security, ownership at scale, you know, give context, actionability. And that was really engaging. I was like, oh, give us more. It was only 15 minutes. So that was quite limited. I wish you had time to go into the how, you know, how you're actually doing that. That was what kind of, you really drove me. I think it was just a lack of time. So I kind of felt like you talk about the problem space, you provided a high level in terms of what you're going to do, but you didn't give us, especially me being a security person, right, the details on that. The other thing about the presentation itself too is when you were talking about the why, I felt that you had that as a start, and then you did a introduction of the team before you went back into the why again. It felt like there was a break in that a little bit. And also just before the what, you went into the fundraising bit, and I thought maybe that could have been part of the company itself. So there was a little bit of the flow wasn't as seamless as I thought it would be, but it was a great presentation nonetheless. So 453 for me. Well done, Shan.
Thanks, Edwin. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Edwin. Ahil, can you please go next?
Yep. Maybe a slight bit harsher than Edwin, but I nonetheless love the presentation as well. Thank you so much, Shan. I'm going to caveat everything I say with that I'm not a security dev expert, so this is coming from that lens. But I learned
That's good.
lot.
We need diversity.
Yeah. It's coming from that lens, and I think there's a couple of points of feedback, I guess, around that as well. So, you know, under sort of innovation and creativity, this feels like a different way to package up in the form of a bot something that could be implemented in a lot of different ways. And I think the leap that I was making was the ratio of security engineers within a development organization is one of the crunch points of why this problem actually comes up. I think that leap felt like it was missing when you actually spoke through your problem. So I loved actually the way you brought a lot of data to your problem space. The visuals were really engaging as well. One of the common things that I guess I see goes wrong in a lot of pitches is there's sort of a massive lack of time spent on the problem and a lot more time spent talking on the solution. This pitch actually felt like it was the other way around. But I love generally the amount of data and sort of the insights that you brought there. It was just that one leap on how does it translate to that ratio being like a core part of this, and then a virtual bot being the main solution that people are really looking for. With my limited understanding, I imagine there's probably a few ways to solve this problem, and so I love the creativity of this one nonetheless. On sort of the engagement piece, the presentation was super engaging until the point that we didn't get enough on the how, and it felt a little bit anticlimactic. I was like, oh, I'd love to know more about this bot. How does it troll through a code base? How do people actually using it? I guess you've already got 600 users. One of the points I left here as well was that there's likely an opportunity to walk us through the customer journey for the typical person experiencing this problem, but also on your current users and how it's solving this in a big way for them. So using customer journeys and personas in your presentation may be a bit beneficial. And then on the actual sort of problem bit, as I mentioned, the leap from like security dev ratios in a development org is one bit I would add a bit more flesh into. But otherwise, generally, I loved how you actually unpacked the problem for us. I think for audiences that don't know much about this space, it actually paints a really compelling picture. I loved the way you did that. Hard for me to say whether or not it's going to solve the problem. That's where I think the usage of those personas can really come in handy, especially for audiences like myself. Yeah, but really well done. I loved hearing that. Learned a lot. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Ahil. And Rob, please tell us your feedback.
Congratulations, Shan. That was a great presentation. I might be a little bit harsh on you, but I do think you did a great job. You certainly, I concur with my my judging panel colleagues that you probably spent way too much time defining the problem. I did find myself questioning some of the aspects of the problem as well. I've worked in large enterprise where it's a real DevOps environment, and security is a secondary thing. It's a separate thing. But I've also worked in startups and security startups where we run DevSecOps, and it's actually every developer is responsible for security. And we approach it in a different way, where every developer starts with security as the first step of design of their product, and they finish with testing and scanning as the last part. So the one security engineer to the 100 developers, I kind of challenge that a little bit when you start thinking, how does DevSecOps approach impact your value proposition in market? Does it diminish the value proposition? How does it impact that 1 to 100 ratio? So I think maybe a little bit in alignment with what Akhil was saying around that particular point. So I did find some challenges there around understanding how DevSecOps may impact your value proposition. But as you went on, you certainly were very engaging, and you certainly helped me understand, the intent of where you're trying to inject yourself. Obviously, we've, in the software companies I've created, we use a lot of automation and a lot of streamlining of that process with CI/CD processes and scanning and monitoring. And I did make one note. I was like, okay, I think for me, in my current and past experiences, that the biggest workload for the DevSecOps team, and I tried to kind of answer it for myself, was interpretation. The time spent in interpreting the outputs from the scans and understanding, what do we do with this problem? Do we create it as a chore in our backlog? And then, how do we manage that chore? And it's, from a software development perspective and our team management, you have to have the right culture to manage DevSecOps, right? And you also have to have the right culture of managing chores, making sure that, if a developer's picking up 2 tasks, that every second or third task, they must go and do a chore, and that you've got the right prioritization approach to pick up the really important security tasks that need to be done. So, I was thinking about the experiences and how your product may help. I did at the end I was left wanting to know more, which may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I was hoping to understand how your product actually impacts the software development lifecycle of a customer. So when they roll it out, what's the onboarding process like? How does it impact the SDLC process for the developers? How does their life change? And that was the bit that I think was missing for me, and that might maybe tie in with some of Akhil's comments as well. But overall, it sounds like a great idea. I'd definitely like to have a chat with you at some point after this, because it's definitely an interesting concept. So congratulations and thank you very much. And hopefully I wasn't too harsh.
No, thanks. Awesome feedback, and absolutely, let's chat for sure.
Thank you so much for our judging panel. We have few more votes coming from the audience. Mark is here, 455. Dennis here, 444. Alexei, 445. I can't count, obviously. James here, 555. Have a question on how the app actually plugs into existing ecosystem.
Great question, James. Nullify is a GitHub app, so right now we only support GitHub as a code base, but yeah, you integrate it into your GitHub organization, and then that's all you have to do. It's listening on every single kind of developer event, whether it's like new code pushed or updating existing code in your code base. So you don't have to set anything up. All you have to do is just integrate that GitHub app, and then it's plugged into your entire existing developer environment.
Perfect. Thank you, Shan. So guys, if you have any last questions to Shan, you can pop it in the comments while I'm doing the announcement for basically next week. So you still have some, have some time to pop your voting in the comments as well, and you have still some time to ask last questions. So basically, obviously, thank you so much, and it's definitely takes some courage to share, some your idea, especially in front of the judging panel. So, and we all know that we feel a bit, anxious sometimes when we need to do the public speaking, and plus, being evaluated by judges. But I encourage you, if you're a tech startup founder with some solution or idea in mind, or just tech enthusiast with the side hustle ideas of burning inside you, I do encourage you to apply. This is, your first step to showcase your innovative idea and stand out with your unique personality. So make sure to apply. Go to our website, yougotechtalent.com, and join us basically to become a part of the future together. So next, as I said, we're running the show every month, every last Thursday of the month. So next show will be on 31st of August. And our speaker will be Sush Dash. She basically navigated through multiple roles in various organizations in Australia within digital technology space. And now she's a co-founder of OGO. It's a tech company that does green last mile same day delivery for retailers by bringing some products in close proximity to the consumers. So she will be talking about her startup idea next month, so 31st of August at 12 p.m. So here we go. And Akhil, do you know Sue?
Yeah, I spoke to her the other day.
Here we go.
Yeah. Small world.
Here we go. So it's a small world, obviously. Everyone connected. So guys, yeah. So make sure to watch Sue next week on the 31st of August. And do we have any more questions? Great effort. Would you be a SaaS dust?
Yes, we are a SaaS, SCA, like a all-in-one solution. So yeah, code scanning, package scanning, secret scanning, API fuzzing. You can find out more on our website or hit me up on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Anyone last comments or questions before we finish our today's episode?
I just want to say thanks so much for the opportunity, and the feedback was really, really great and helpful, both from like a practitioner side and also like an investor perspective. It's really helpful for us to iterate on our storytelling and vision. So thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely good practice. And it takes a bit of a different practice when you need to present online compared to presenting face-to-face as well. Change the dynamic a little bit. So yeah, guys, obviously anyone who's listening, that's your chance if you would like to participate. And we always have amazing judges as well. So, that's your chance to get the new connections as well. Thank you so much for our judging panel as well. Thank you guys for taking your time during the day to come to our show and give the feedback. Really appreciate you being here. Robert, Edwin, Akhil, thank you so much for being with us. And I guess we'll see everyone on the 31st of August.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Yana, for having us.
Thanks, Shan. Thanks, Yana.
Shan.
Thank you. Some
See you
last
guys.
comments coming through. Thank you.